Welcome to the Queen Divas, Queens of Fitness podcast. Join your hosts, three-time WBFF world champions and WBFF royalty, Alicia Gowans and Stephanie Ayala McHugh, as we explore all things female health, training, competing, mindset, and living the fitness life every day.
Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of Queen Divas podcast with my beautiful co-host, Stephanie Ayala McHugh. We are chatting about all things confidence this week because I literally just did my very first maternity photo shoot. And it was also the first photo shoot I've done in 3 years. Like,
how good did it feel, though? How good was it?
You know what? Like, this is actually a really great way to talk about confidence, because confidence can be something that you have and is unwavering in certain areas. Then it can be stuff that can get a little shaky at times, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of people. Yeah. And for a lot of people moving into pregnancy, let's use that as an example, right? That can 100% shake confidence for people because you're out of control of the complete changes in your physique, and you also are letting go perhaps of a certain persona and aesthetic that you've always held. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm a prime example of this, right? So going from the last decade of, you know, just constant competing and high level international titles, and you know, you get known as being and looking a certain way, right? And then to have that completely change, and you've got an entire audience that's only ever connected and related to you in that perspective previously, it would be enough to shake most people's confidence. But you know what's really interesting? This is the first time, like, I would never have actually gone and done one of these. And I didn't do one when I was pregnant with my daughter before I really jumped headfirst into my career in this sport.
I'm so happy you did, because I would have forced here. I would be like, Ali, we're setting up the shoot. I'm gonna set out for you because you gotta document it.
So you know, look,
you in so many shapes and forms.
Exactly.
Like, it's beautiful actual process, and being able to see your belly and see your face and like the glow, and just again overall the happiness. Right.
It was actually a lot more fun, and I was actually a lot more comfortable doing it than I thought I would even be. And interestingly enough, I was just never interested in capturing the whole side of that, I think, cycle of my life previously. And back when I had Kella too, and I was pregnant with her, you know, social media wasn't a big thing for me. I wasn't even on it. So like the things I did capture were obviously personal use only, completely different set of, you know, utilization for doing one even. And I also like, I was operating in some face-to-face formats in bricks and mortar businesses. You know, I had 2 studios and an international consulting firm I was still part of and running. I hadn't shut that down yet. And so, you know, just my focus was really different. So I wasn't really thinking about it. I had also not been working photo shoots as part of my business and career like I have been in the last decade. Okay. So
our models, anyone that's ever seen, let me tell you guys though, like, the camera was on, and I know a lot of models and I've worked with a lot of them. This woman, I cannot with her. She just turns it up, and her faces and her movements. I always applaud Alicia for how mesmerizing she can be on stage, in a shoot, like with her expressions and her movements. And anyone that's ever seen her model will understand what I'm referring to. But if you've never seen her, so I'm excited to see these photos, because I can only imagine when her face turns up, what she's going to be looking like. Being proud of her baby. You know, I'm sure glow comes out.
I was honestly not sure what to expect, right? And I was like walking into this going, man,
you guys are both in it, right? Were you guys both
this was the first one. It was just me.
Okay.
And I kind of almost wanted to do it that way, because I I sort of thought, man, I am dusty. And not only am I dusty, I do not have the ability to work any kind of angle, because let me tell you now, Stephanie,
like
you do not own your waist anymore. There is no waist. There is just a barrel where it used to be. And there is no, it just is, it's a completely different sort of style, but you're also completely relaxed. Like I had this conversation, actually, one of my pros who's been with me for, 7-8 years. She went pro with me, still with me. And she's become a very good friend. Anyway, she inboxed me and was like, you look amazing. I can't believe it so soon. And he's going to be here. And then she was like, how do you feel you're going to miss the bump? And I was thinking about this and I'm like, you know what I am going to miss? And this is so funny for me to say it, because this is the part most people would lose confidence in themselves for. I'm going to miss just being able to be completely relaxed and have no pressure on how I need to look. Not a single one. I have not put any pressure on myself this entire pregnancy, which I think is number one. So how have I been able to maintain confidence in this shoot in a completely foreign environment? Because I've never shot in this condition before, ever, even though I've been pregnant before. And how have I built on this confidence over the years? Well, these are some of the things we were talking about offline, Steph, where we talked about, it's mastering what it is that we want to be confident at. So, and I know I've heard you talk about this before many times. If you want to produce great photos from a photo shoot, practice by doing more photo shoots, being more open, shoot in every season, shoot in every format that your body holds, from an off season to an on season. And for me, this now includes pregnancy.
I love it.
And work it, like own it, love it, and work it. And then over time, what you will have is this innate confidence inside your own skin. And that's, I think, what, Steph is referring to, which, I know I do that well. I know I can step on a stage and literally just become a completely different person, because you channel this alter ego that you have literally developed over the years. And it doesn't matter what's going on and what's going on around you. You're in the zone, right? And I feel like that's kind of almost the vibe that confidence is. And so when we walked into this maternity shoot, I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to be like, because I haven't done this in a while at all, let alone this round. Let's see what we're going to do. And I trusted my photographer, because she's amazing. She's shot with me for the last 6 years in every element of what my physique is saying: off season, on season, close to stage, far from stage. She's been there. So I knew that I could trust her. And I said to her, you come up with some ideas, I'll come up with some ideas. And then we meshed them together. And I literally went with the first one just being an hour and a half together, nothing huge. We did a couple of shots in the studio to warm up, and then we did, which were beautiful flowing ones with fabric and stuff. And then we did a couple of shots that were a little bit more chic-y. And we went outside for the dusk.
Body a little bit more.
Correct. Yeah. And then we went outside for the dusk. So this shoot was really quite pretty and soft and flowy, and it was a good introduction back to being in front of a camera. And it was a good way for me just to start to feel the comfort inside the new shape, right? So I felt like I was dusty. There was cobwebs. I had to brush those off, right? Seriously.
Ellie, you're always going to feel that way. Even let me tell you,
you're spiders here and there.
And you're going to still feel that way. I still get in front of the freaking camera and I'm like, I know what I'm doing. But then sometimes you're like, but what the fuck am I doing?
But what the fuck am I doing? That's right.
Like literally.
But where am I going with
this? To do? Yeah, even when you know what poses to do or where to look, you still get lost. And I think that's why it's extremely important to have a directive photographer, someone that is experienced, someone that can help you. If you're maybe learning with another photographer, you guys are going to be clashing head to head. You're going to be doing some weird shit, and they're probably going to be doing some weird shots, So if that, and look, let me tell you, I've done so many photo shoots. It's ridiculous. Like I can't even put on 100 fingers, okay, how many photo shoots I have done. But this lets you know, have you seen them all? Absolutely not. Like, have you guys seen all the photo shoots?
Some of them are not worthy of printing.
No, like, that just means I've been able to practice with so many different photographers, learn different styles, learn things about myself, learn things about my body, about my faces, about my style. I think design even has a big, sometimes we envision something and we think it's going to look so damn cute. And then we put it on and the photographer takes the freaking pictures and you're like, I look like I tried to be in a fucking comic movie or something. Like, you know, or I look like I'm out of place. It looks untasteful. Or, you know, you might learn, man, I could have just done my makeup a little better or hired somebody to do it.
Literally something like, you know, my chin is too elevated. I could have dropped my chin. I could have had, you know, more angle in you know, whether it's an aesthetic on the face or whether it's an aesthetic on the physique, right? And I think, you know, these are things you gain. And I mean, we've honed in on photo shoots as our analogy and example to demonstrate these things. But the confidence you build with literally anything is by doing this. It's by starting, taking action, analyzing results, and then improving upon them, right? So that's how confidence is built. It's not just something you wake up with, and it's like talent doesn't, you know, win if hard work is going to surpass it, because it will, right? So it's the same thing. You want to take something that has this raw potential and cultivate it into something that has this limitless level of confidence, because you're applying yourself and action to it every single day, right?
The most common question I probably get asked, Allie, like just across the board, and people constantly ask me this, it's like, how are you so confident? Or like, you know, how are you staying motivated? Or how do you, you know, be so confident? Or how did you build your confidence? And to me, it's a question that I really didn't know how to really answer, because I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I don't act confident, I don't think, you know what I mean? I'm not like someone that walks around in a way that I'm like extremely cocky.
No, but it's innate. You just have this innate, like, there's no self-doubt around who and what you are. That's more
because you know your capabilities, though. You know what you can do, and that comes through experience. If you have not put yourself out to do the photo shoots and you're comparing yourself to a model that does hundreds of photo shoots, don't you think you're probably doing, not just, again, I don't like saying the word comparison, but let's say you're looking at her like, how is she so much better than me? Or, you know, how is she so confident? Like, well, that girl probably has a lot of experience underneath her belt, right?
Correct.
And she is confident in her abilities to be able to go do those photo shoots and do multiple naked, whatever she decides she wants to do. And in your, you know, capability of being able to do that, you're not, you know, probably experienced, you don't feel confident in it. And that applies to any industry, not just modeling. I think this applies to the music industry, any skill on it, honestly, like anything that you have to be skilled at. Let's talk about professional athletes, right? Just like a sport, just knowing that you're not better than the other, you know, obviously NBA player. Clearly you're not a professional NBA player. Why would we think that we're practicing as much as an NBA player? I mean, they practice all day, every day, right? Year round. Crazy. That's the only sport that they practice and they live and breathe it. So when we think of what we do day to day, what is it that you love and what's the talent you're trying to seek? I really think it comes
where do you want to attain the confidence?
Exactly. Is it confident in your speaking? Then maybe you're doing some communications, you know, skills, maybe some speech, like gaining out of your shell, getting a little more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that means that, you know, you're pushing out of your comfort zone. Maybe you've always wanted to do a certain craft. I don't know what that means, but whatever hobby it is. Don't just think you're going to get to the top. It's not going to just happen overnight. I was not confident upon starting my competing journey. I was so unconfident, but I had the want. I really did. I'm like, you know what? I really want to do this. And I just kept, you know, going more and more and kept trying. And I just kept trying. I would fail. And I think this is another thing that with confidence, people set themselves up that they think that the confident feeling is going to come after they achieve something.
After they win, it's not at all.
After they win, right?
It's the journey to the win that builds the confidence over time and experience. And usually with failings. Confidence is built through how you respond to adversity, right? I truly believe that. So, you know, I definitely think that it's not something that you just wake up with, and it's definitely not something that comes from a win. It comes from the lessons you learn on the way to eventually having some form of success. And the success doesn't always even mean a win, right? It could be.
No, exactly.
It's not always the win.
Something, but maybe you didn't actually win, like, let's say whatever, if it was a competition, or maybe win like I don't know, if you were planning to do something and you lost a bet, I don't know, whatever it is, you gained a skill, you gained knowledge. And I think another thing that we also lose sight of is tracking our progress leading up to our goals. We have this big goal. We always think of the bigger goal, and once I achieve that big goal, I'm successful and I'll be confident. We expect, I guess, confidence to come from that, success. When in reality, we need to break down all of them into smaller goals and be able to gain confidence from achieving the smaller goals, to know your ability that, you're headed in the right direction. You're heading towards that bigger goal. And even though you're not there yet, you are gaining skill, you're gaining experience. Even if you fail, you continue getting up and trying again, and you then maybe succeed. Then you gain confidence of knowing that it wasn't you failing last time that really meant you weren't winning. It was the fact that you actually got up and tried again that made you know that you're confident. And if next time I fail, doesn't matter, I'm going to try again. And you're going to gain.
I think also too, confidence is built when there is a synergy between what you identify with and what you're taking action towards. So, if I think because I had never even looked at, so we link this again to this whole shooting mechanism, I'd never even thought about modeling and pregnancy being a joint thing previously, like when I was pregnant with Calla, because I wasn't in that space. But now it's a case of, it's just another opportunity to capture my physique in a different cycle of its life, right?
How powerful is memory going to be for you, and how important? 100%. I think this is going to be such a not just memorable, but an important time for you to be able to showcase that this is something I was comfortable with, even though it was maybe something I didn't want to do before.
And totally opposite to what you would normally shoot and how I would normally look and what I would normally be posting. But the exciting part too is knowing that, and this is, so we did the first shoot, that's what it looked like. I have built again. So this is just, it rebuilds a little bit more confidence about where you're going. And now we've just locked in a 1.5 hour in the studio for pure black and whites. It will be more physique shown, more silhouette based, black and whites. I'm even considering doing a very tasteful, very well positioned, almost nude shot, which I would never have done.
I think you need to. Such a empowering. But guys, remember though what we're saying. This has to be done with professionals that know what they're doing, because otherwise it becomes such an untasteful shoot. It becomes a very bad experience. And this may be someone that's listening that's like, oh, I've been in a bad experience before, some photographer told me to bend over. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like,
these are all really beautiful side base. And I've got this whole stream now of like a vision board that I've built for this next one that we do, which will be so different to the one we just did. And then we'll also incorporate in Christos in these images, because what I'm doing with this next one we're doing is that it's the now, and then in probably 5 weeks time we're going to recapture the exact same photo but with Bub in the photo.
Oh my god, that's going to be epic. That's going to be so cool.
So it's cool. And
then the baby.
And then next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend I would do my third and my final shoot, and this one is even more daring and innovative. Again, I've got a big pair of wings that have been made. So I'm actually doing one with wings, and we're going to recreate the exact same look in October when I'm close to stage in the wings again with Bubby. So it's so I have this blueprint now. And so you can already see that from what I started with in the very first shoot to what I'm going to end with in the third shoot, you can see the difference in it, right? And my first shoot, don't get me wrong, I've seen some of the unedited images and they're stunning. Like, I'm so pumped to get them. And it's very cool because, as I said, I'm not that woman that, you know, walks around in a gym with a crop top, big belly hanging out, training, that is down at the beach in her bikini, tanning every day with a big belly. Like, I'm just not that chick, and that's fine. It's just not me. But I am confident though now in what I'm doing in these shooting, you know, situations with a completely different shape and something that is not my norm and not what I'm known for. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for what's coming, and I'm really proud of myself for even considering some of the things that I'm planning for, because it is completely out of scope for me, you know. So it'll be lovely though. So I'm excited for what's ahead. And I guess, you know, it's a great way to discuss that, because I really am showcasing that confidence that's been built over the years in shoots and shooting itself is something I've had to draw on in a time where I wouldn't normally be feeling most confident with myself physically. But I'm actually pretty comfortable in saying that I feel pretty good. Like, I haven't had a moment where I'm like, oh my God, I'm tragic, or I'm this, or I'm that. I haven't had any of that. I've actually just been really content my entire pregnancy. I feel really confident about where I'm going to go post the pregnancy and what my physique will look like in December, you know. So again, how can I have that confidence, right? How can I have the confidence to know that I can step on stage when Bubby will be not quite 6 months old and be very competitive? Well, because I've been there and done that before. I did that with Calla, and went pro and won everything. So, you know, I can do it. But also
experience going through it before. She's gone through it before.
I've done.
She knows she's capable of it.
Exactly.
So going back to you've done a prep, you've endured it. You could do it again. I mean, it's just knowing that it's going to take hard work.
I have also had a very focused approach my entire pregnancy, knowing that was my goal at the end, knowing that I'm taking the actions that help to build the confidence that I will be fine by the deadline.
There's going to be smaller goals that lead up to that big goal, which was obviously making sure the pregnancy was in place, you know, dietary needs, and obviously your body fat levels need to just be in a healthy range for, you know, baby to, you know, obviously grow, but never get excessive and go crazy, right? And
I didn't need to be Shamu.
Right.
I didn't need to be Shamu.
You put yourself in a position where you have now built even more confidence of knowing, I'm going to be able to do this. I've done it not only in the past, but I've also done the small things, right? The smaller goals to achieve that bigger goal, which
do I think it's going to be easy? Oh, hell no, I don't.
Oh, hell no, it's going to be easy.
Not at all. Like,
if I believe anybody
really need to say that.
No, I'm telling you, I know it's not going to be easy, because hell, you're just coming from having a pregnancy. You're going to go through a surgery, right? But if there's anybody that I know in this world that is going to be capable of going through hell and back and literally do what she says she's going to do, is you, Alicia Cowan. So I know, I know you're going to do whatever it takes. And I know you are never going to fucking quit, even when it gets hard, because this is the issue. When things get hard, people love to kind of throw in the towel and start actually becoming unconfident in that, whatever it was that they dropped out of. If it was a prep, oh no, it's too hard. Once it gets hard, people quit because you're not confident enough of getting to the deadline. You don't quit because you know you can get to it. You know, I'm going to get to it no matter what.
I do.
So the people that can look at this and look at her, you know, mindset, even going through from the photo shoot perspective, and, you know, obviously having a really uncomfortable first mindset going into it, thinking, holy man, I've never done this, but I have modeled before. I do feel comfortable with the camera now. It's just kind of dusting off the cobwebs a little bit as far as feeling, you know, a little rusty. But she was then warmed up. Then she felt more confident. She felt good about it. Then she started feeling excited about another photo shoot. And now
planning it.
And planning the next. So what does that mean? That also means that once we start maybe getting away from maybe things that make us feel confident or things that make us feel this way, because I really do believe it's a feeling, not a showing. Some people try to act confident or try to be confident, but in reality, they have really low self-esteem. You know, they don't really feel confident inside. They're just kind of doing it to show it. And
I think when you see people that are doing that too, by the way, where there's a false sense of bravado, it's usually when the motives for something are really not great, you know, like their reasons for doing something are a little bit wrong. Whereas like my reason for doing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it is for no one other than myself. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And gosh, if everyone listened to that again, and let's just repeat that, put all that on repeat.
It is. It's for me. It's for me I love to challenge myself. I love to push myself, but more importantly, it's for me to have a goal, because I'm a goal-oriented person. I work much better with them, you know, than I do without, that I'm having a focus on. And I also, because, you know, look, I've been here and done this before too. I'm a really big believer that we should never lose ourselves just because we parent, just because we become a parent, just because we've got a baby. Like, it shouldn't be a case of, well, now I'm just a mum. Like, I will never be that woman. I've never been that woman. It will never happen for me. I am a mother and all these other things, right? You will label me 50 different things. I'm not just one thing. And so for me, taking care of my own health and fitness and mental health means my child has a much better, much more present, much more, you know, capable parent. So setting myself up with this goal was as much for you know, my son's well-being as it is for my own. You know, I'm doing it for me, but I'm also doing it in a sense for him, because I want him to see the same thing I wanted for my daughter, which is, you know what, you want something, you work for it, you'll get it. Anything's possible. Exactly. Everyone wants to tell you that you'll never get your body back, and it's just rubbish. Like, you know, the amount of times I've heard, oh, well, you're okay after the first one.
Multiple women come back and be looking better than after, you know.
Exactly, 100%, 100%. Or you know, you'll never look good after this age. No, I like to really
a complete BS. Age is a freaking number. If you're willing to work and actually willing to, you know, obviously sacrifice a couple things, because with discipline, you guys, come sacrifice. And I think with building the confidence, we don't want to sacrifice some things that it takes to build up, again, consistency in your day-to-day habits, that it may take to build up against that talent. Whatever it is we're talking about here, it doesn't have to be just a competitive realm, because sometimes we always, you know, refer back to our competing and prep and, you know, confidence in that, but that's going to come from even our abilities of being able to get to the gym, being able to eat our meals, right, and train. So it's variables, all those things, like habits that lead up to building up that confidence. So you may not be confident yet, and I want you to think of that, right? You may not feel confident yet, but that does not mean that you are not going to be confident and build it. Okay, building confidence takes time. It is going to be something that, just like training and just like weight loss, fat loss, building muscle, it's a slow process. But the more we reflect, the more we actually look into how far we have come from that, you know, maybe small, little shy, you know, personality that we had. We couldn't even talk to anybody. I know for me, especially, it comes a long way for anyone that knows me. I was actually really, really shy, like, and I still am in a lot of stuff. That's why I'm very, you know, and I guess private with some things. But it's really important to understand that we all start somewhere, and to stop trying to, you know, get from 0 to 100 in just overnight or in 1 month. And it's going to take, you know, some practice, some, you know, experience for you to be able to gain and build some confidence. And I just want to kind of leave with just one of the things that I think it just always resonates with me, because I think it always helps me. I think I reflect on this a lot, because we get emotions come and go, you know, and it's confident. Again, going back to feeling, we may not feel confident right now, or be confident yet, right? But the foundation of unhappiness and like low self-esteem are based on decisions made off for short-term comforts, not in what's going to impede, right, long-term results and goals. So you're not thinking of the long term. And for me, when I start like maybe feeling a certain way, I kind of remind myself, like, is this short-term comfort Okay, right now, that's gonna make me feel better and like about myself and like, you know, make me kind of sulk and a little bit of you know, victimology for whatever it is, that because I'm not good enough for this yet, you know, and I'm not thinking of, you know, I'm building the confidence, and this is stopping me. This is impeding me from getting to that long-term result and goal that I've always wanted to achieve. So stop looking at maybe that one little emotion that lingers a little bit about making you feel down or maybe not feeling confident, because again, like that word can mean so much, but it comes down to abilities and what you're doing day to day and how you're setting yourself up in action to achieve these things that you say you're going to achieve. Because when you say you're going to do something, you're going to build confidence if you actually do them.
That's and if you can just see yourself improving incrementally in the way you're executing something over time, that's what also builds confidence. And then I also think what builds confidence is positive, you know, reinforcement and affirmation of how you're progressing in something. So that might be your direct support network. It might be peers. It might be, you know, clients even giving that feedback. It could even be, like in my case, the visual result of that first shoot where I was dusting the cobwebs off, where I just went, oh yeah, I'm fine, I got this. And then it was a case of immediately going,
googly eyes, is like, oh my God, these shots are so amazing. And you're like, oh, really? Let me look, let me see, right? Like, and you're starting to get that boost of confidence because you, again, not only are you taking that action and like saying, yes, I'm going to, you know, get a little uncomfortable this time. I'm going to push out of my comfort zone a little bit and do this. And now you are obviously super excited. And I'm excited. I am. You know, photos. But for anyone, please shoot in all stages, because even like Ali, she's in 100%. What she thought a stage to not shoot in which I am, again, over like the freaking moon trying to think of all these images she's gonna get next, because I'm like, wait, a shot that goes from belly to then the baby? Oh my God, like that is such a creative shot. Like and that's the fun part I think about photography when it comes down to, you know, shoots and stuff, like a story, the memories. So get out there, shoot. Don't have to post them if you don't feel comfortable with the results, but you learn. Guess what? You're going to learn experience from all of them. And it, who cares what they think, right? The more you stop caring what other people think, you're going to be obviously empowered and start being a little more fearless in pursuing those goals that maybe you haven't gone out.
So confidence is not built by sitting and, you know, hesitating on doing anything. It's by tackling things that seem to be overwhelming and or, you know, even just something you're fearful of, right? It's you tackle it. You don't expect to be great at it straight away. And then it's consistently chipping away at it. It's knowing what you want to achieve and then taking action on it. You know, Steph mentioned that too. It's literally experience and effort and at times failing and learning from it over time. That's how confidence is built in literally anything. Yep, in anything, whether it's, you know, the photo shoots like we talked about, whether it's, you know, business, whether it's social media, whether it's whatever it is, it's in relationships, it's in trying a new hobby, it's in, you know, changing and learning a new skill set, changing jobs and learning a new, you know, area of expertise. It's all of the things. It's built that way over time, tackling it head on. So I hope that everyone enjoyed this, and I hope, you know, you all get to see my variations and the progression in confidence in my, you know, in my maternity shoots. And then I'm looking forward to showcasing, you know, the results of some hard work in a few months' time post too.
Oh man, your journey is going to be one I'll be glued to, because I just know that'll be one of those, you know, processes that are going to really inspire other women, not just coming postpartum, but other women that try to build an excuse on, you know, I have all of this X, Y, and Z things, but in reality, it's just excuses and limitations they're setting for themselves. And you being able to prove that coming out of a surgery and having a baby, you know, you are able to still get right back at it and achieve.
And I'm going to show that. I'm going to show that. I'm not going to hold back, which is, again, I'm proud of myself at this, because there is great vulnerability that comes with showing, you know, the worst of something. And I'm definitely going to showcase everything. So, you know, from the immediate result post bub coming out with, you know, what it looks like physically, I'll share that. I will share the highs and the lows and what I can and can't do and how I'm approaching prep, because I think that it's going to be really rewarding for me to see how far I actually come when I'm purely honest with not only myself but my entire audience. And I think that I'm hoping it is an inspiration for people watching it, because it's not going to be a case of where I just had this baby real easy with no complications and or no downsides and downtime. There's going to be plenty to navigate. Yeah, it's going to be plenty I'm going to navigate. And then, throwing in the mix international travel, there's a whole bunch of things. But my point is, I'm going to probably only further grow my confidence in my own capabilities by doing this. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to sharing it with everyone so that, hopefully I inspire some people, and hopefully they are capable of looking at their own situation and going, all right, if she can do it, I can do it, right? Because I really believe that everyone can do anything they actually really put their mind to. The other thing that, I have no hesitation in saying this, I will cop some flack. Definitely. I will have people out there going, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. Oh my God, you're putting pressure on women to bounce back.
The naysayers only give us more ammunition.
You'll cop that. You'll cop that.
That's going to be a little fuel added to the fire, though. But you know us. You know what that does. You know what that does. It just gives you a little extra.
Yep, there will always be people that do it. So I guess also too, I hope to show that, you've got to pursue what you want to pursue regardless of what other people think. And you really can't let anyone else's opinion affect or sway your confidence in something or your direction. So hopefully I showcase that too, because I'm not going to let any negative Nancy or bloody Karen tell me what I can and can't
do. You're only going to literally shut them up, and their jaw is going to drop to the floor when they're like, holy shit. Did it, she actually pulled it off. So there's always going to be those people out there. There's always going to be someone that is just negative about the whole outcome. So regardless, even when the outcome comes, so why even put all of your happiness and emotions on somebody else's opinion? So I do believe it's really important to just do what you want, seek the goals that are actually good for you, meaning realistically, this is a good time frame. If they're too big, then break them down into smaller goals, take some notes, as far as a couple things that we, talked about on today's episode, but just understand confidence is not built overnight. No. It's not built in a month. It's going to be built over a long period of time. So keep on practicing, keep on experiencing, keep on failing, and keep on building confidence, because you're doing that throughout this process, whatever it is that you're seeking out to do at the moment. Thank you guys for listening.
Amen.
And I hope you guys were able to, take some stuff away from this. And until next time, everybody.
Yay. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Deb. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Queen Divas, Queens of Fitness podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Queen Divas Pod, on Twitter at Queen Divas 4, and follow our hosts on Instagram, Alicia at Alicia Gowans _WBFF Pro, and Steph at Stephanie Ayala 7. See you all next week.